Hey everyone, welcome to the very first episode of Awaken Your Life with Angel. Right here, I'm Dr. Angel Jebailey, and I'm extremely excited to have you here as we're going to embark in this amazing journey together. In this podcast, I will dive into the fascinating intersection of spirituality and science. We're going to explore these two sides, and we're going to see how they are very much one. And by that, I'm going to empower you and help you transform your life. I do want to start this first episode by setting the tone. You know, make sure you're in a nice place, cozy. Make sure that you have a very open heart and mind because some things might trigger you and some things will resonate with you, and that is totally okay. I love the idea of diversity, and that means everybody have the rights to feel and think the way they want, as long as they want to. See, people will have the decision to have their belief systems as well as whatever perspective they want to see in the world. What I'm doing in this episode is expressing my truth. The truth means the things that I have gone through, the experiences, the knowledge that I have gone through my years of studying so many things. And I'm going to put out there, but it does not mean that I am telling you the absolute truth. Obviously, no, because I don't believe that any person here on earth can say they are telling the absolute truth. Everybody is telling their perspective, their truth. And that is really their truth because that's exactly what they've gone through, probably from the programming, from their experiences. What really matters is that we are able to listen to each other. And if we find something interesting, we might as well change our mind. And if we don't, that's totally okay. If whatever belief system you have is making you happy, then keep it. But for me, I went through a transition of changing my belief set so many times because I went through so many things. And I'm telling you one thing, that changing your mind and learning more information can empower you so much. And if only human knew how much power there is inside of them and that they can really actually control every thought they have and that they can have a better life and fulfill their life and live in this happiness. So I'm here to talk about these steps. And I'm going to also in there tell about my story and how I got there. So you're going to see some information that I've learned through universities as well as the things that I've experienced through life. And I say this again, if it resonates with you, take it and embrace it. And if it doesn't, it is totally okay. Because for me, I do believe that having different perspective, different ideas is what makes this earth amazing because we need to create new things. If everybody's creating the exact same thing every single day, then this earth really is going to become boring. But when we have differences is what that's how we get to create new stuff. That's why we get to experience the new energy, a new form of looking at things. And this is why I'm always open to different opinion. But again, as long as we're doing this in the most peaceful way and understanding that we don't have to force anyone to believe anything. At the end, everybody has their own unique journey. For those who don't know, I am a quantum health coach, and my work is based on these 4 points. I bring all the science and spirituality together because, believe it or not, they never should have been separated. They need to be together because we are actually both spirit and a physical being at the same time. I also talk about nutrition, the things that we could eat, the things that we don't. But again, that's all also about permission slips, which I will talk about this later on. We also talk about psychology and physical body. So for me, when I'm addressing my clients, I will never look them just on their thinking or just on their emotion or their physical body. I'm also going to look at their spirit because we are all of it. And none of these guys should be separated from each other. If you want to bring somebody to a full inner peace, happiness, and health, they really have to embrace not only their physical part that we do this in schools, but we also have to embrace the spiritual part of it, which many people put it aside. And many people mix that with religion. And it's not religion. Spirituality is not religion. It is a completely different story. There might be some things that they intersect, but it's all about your spirit. So, as a quantum health coach, my desire is just guide them, be a lighthouse, and help them get to the place where they want to be. Now, for those who are so obsessed with the idea, well, I need your credentials. Like, I cannot work with somebody who doesn't have any qualified document. So here it is, my qualifications for those who need that. So I have two bachelors, one in biology and one in nutrition dietetics. I also did my master's in food nutrition, emphasizing on sports nutrition. I also did my master's in curriculum and instruction because I've been almost over 15 years in education. I am a teacher. I used to be a teacher in high school. I used to teach the AP, biology, physics, and chemistry for students for all those years. And of course, I have my PhD in natural medicine with the emphasis on quantum physics. Obviously, some of my teachers are Paul Dran, another one is Dispenza, another one is Bruce Lipton, and I can go with the entire list here. On the other side, you can see also all my certificates. I got NLP, coaching, pro conscious meditation, EFT, hypnotherapy, Reiki, even personal trainer. So I am a person that loves to learn. So I'm always learning information because the focus on me is always making sure that I get better for myself. And through that, I'm always constantly learning. And I'm going to tell you, a lot of information that was 10 years ago has been changed. So that's why I want you to keep in mind that when I'm talking here, I'm talking based to up to now, what we believe to be true, or at least I believe to be true. So here are some of the topics that we were going throughout this episode. What is this whole podcast about? We're going to talk about mindset and limit beliefs. We're going to talk about how to live healthy in your family, in your love relationship, friendship, career, education. We're going to talk about health, not only of your mental, emotional, physical, but also your spiritual side. Like there's a lot of people who are mediums, who can see things, who have more senses than just the five senses, and they struggle with this stuff. So we're going to go through those too. We're also going to see how science has finally, and I shouldn't say finally because this has been going on for so many years, but right now a lot of people are starting to see that science and spirituality are usually in one. And the science is proving more and more and more that all the information that you saw in the eastern side of this world was not a false or alternative. It is the real deal. We're also going to talk about the law of attraction. I love Abraham Hicks. She's amazing. She's funny, and she brings a lot of lightness into our world. Luza Hay is another one. We're going to talk about the power of prayer as well as meditation. There's so much information about these guys that people don't understand. And if they did, they're like, oh my God, these tools can get me anything I want. Not counting the energy healing, such as Reiki, EFT, breath work, and so many other lists in there. As I already mentioned, we do going to talk about mediumship and psychic abilities because, believe it or not, there is many people out there, and guess what? Every single one of us can actually are actually a medium. We're just different levels. As simple as it is. We're also going to talk about the five conscious bodies, crystal chakra, feng shui, and so much more, including again that I am a scientist. So I'm also going to see from both sides, and I'm going to show you how these two can come together. Now, my biggest desire has always been to connect with many souls on earth. And I always want to uplift everyone. Like every time somebody comes to me and said, I just want to cheer them up. So I want them to truly understand who they are and to live authentically. I want them to feel good. So I am here to empower you and release this chain that is in your hand that is holding you back from everything that you want to do, whatever thing that you want to be, and give you that freedom and happiness. And I'm doing this by putting all the information that I've gone through as an experience, as well as a learner, again, through life and through education, schools, and stuff like that. But what's the point if you're listening to me if you don't know who I am? Like now, I'm an open book and I'm going to tell a little bit of myself because I want you to get to know who you're talking to. And I say this because believe me, every time I get into a school, one of the first things that I used to love about doing with my students and let them know who I am, because that's the way people feel safe and that's the way that people trust. And me being a counselor, I love the idea, sorry, of trust. I do. Like I want to trust people. And if I don't trust, I definitely gonna walk away. So one way to start trusting someone is letting you know. Open book. I'm gonna tell you some of the stuff about my life so you can connect with it, can understand who is actually in this mic talking to you. So who am I? First, looking from the spiritual side, I am a spiritual being. I'm a spirit. And I got into a physical world through a physical body that is actually female. So I'm experiencing Earth as a female. Now, to some people says, what the heck are you talking about? And that is totally okay. But those who have been a little bit more on the spiritual side will understand what I'm trying to say. So basically, it's just saying I'm on Earth as a woman. Now, here is the character that I'm playing in this dimension. Yes, there's so many dimensions, and our energy, our spirit can play many of them at many times. People think it's like reincarnation, but actually, all of them are happening at the same time. So, at this one that I'm working, I'm actually playing as a woman. I'm 43. I'm from Halifax, Canada. My parents, my dad is Canadian, my mother's Brazilian, but they both are descended from Lebanon. So all my grandparents from both sides are Lebanese. Now, I was born on June 30th of 1981. So I'm a Cancer. And if you know anything about numerology, is a three. I love to communicate. I love to express myself. I live in so many places like Canada, USA, Brazil, Lebanon, UAE, and even UK. And I was raised as a Christian. So that was my early programming in the beginning of my life. But I have gone through so many things. And because I'm curious and I want to study, I have learned so many different religions, such as, Islam, the Hinduism, the Buddhism. I did not stay to one. Umbanda coming from Brazil, all this stuff. I always is curious to know because somehow I believe there's a little bit of truth in each one, and that's why I'm an humanist. I don't think that all of them are telling the entire truth, but I know that there is truth within them. And I know that all of them can be twisted. This is the reason why I'm not religious in the sense of following a specific religion, but I'm religious in the sense that I'm really connected with the spiritual world. And for me, it's more about embracing life and going through the ups and downs, the light and the darkness, accepting them all as we go through. And of course, in this dimension, I'm a lesbian. So, yes, I'm homosexual. I knew this since I was a little kid. And that will be another episode to talk about that and how it helped me on this awakening life. Languages Portuguese, English are my fluents. However, I understand Spanish, French because I have done that to school. And when it comes to Arabic, I understand the Lebanese Arabic because that's where for my family is. If you talk me Egyptian Arabic, forget it, my friend. It's not going to happen. Anyways, so when it comes to hobbies, sports, I used to play basketball professionally. I played in many countries. I also had opened a basketball coaching club in Brazil where I coached for 2 years with my players, which I love to coach. Beach, I am a lover of the beach. I love the sun, playing board games, ice bath, meditation, traveling, cooking, dancing, and this can go on. So basically, I'm a kid in an adult body. And I continue to be living as a kid until I die. That's why I look young, because I'm just living this life as a in the spirit of a child. Anyways, I'm an empath, which that means I feel the energy around. I read people, they don't have to speak. I can sense things around. I love animals and nature. I can be that kind of person that I am so pissed and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And then I see a dog, oh, I switched. I switched. I mean it. If we have a fight, if you see that I'm mad, just put a little cat in there, put an animal, put anything. And I'll be like, ah, I'm gone. That's just who I am that quickly. I should be doing that with humans too, but at this point, again, we all have our flaws. I also am a spiritual warrior. I have been fighting and I will continue to fight, which have so much resilience in me. I will be in the point where I am one engaged to my dark side as well as my light side. So I that's what a warrior means to me, is that I'm learning to embrace those two as a continuing life. I'm an introvert. So yeah, sometimes I like to be alone, but I can be an extrovert when I'm surrounded by people that are kind, nice, people that I feel safe. Ironically, most introverts do. And of course, I love to be a peacemaker. No matter what, I always want to make sure there is peace around me. So if I see some conflicts, I'll stay away if I cannot do anything. If I can, then I'll do it, especially if people invite me to help. When it comes to my spiritual animal, I'm a wolf. I'm a loner in a sense that sometimes I do need my alone time because I like to be alone with myself. I learned so much about me through that. And my spirit guide, one of the first ones is Native American, but I also have Jesus and Buddha as well as Ganesh. All of these have always been surrounding in my realm. So this is my character in this life. I think I already gave you plenty of information here, but this is who I am. Now, since this podcast, it's about awakening your life with Angel, this case, me, I have to talk about my awakening journey. Now, my awakening journey was not just one time, as many people think, oh, one time, boom, everything happened. No, like we're going to be awakened in stages. And every stage, you're going to feel this moment of aha, and you're like, what? But this happens again and again. So there's no such thing as one time and that's it. No. A lot of things are going to be revealed, and they're going to be revealed as you continue your life. So it's a process of keep going. It's kind of a game. And sometimes when you come to a stage like I am in the age of 43, I look back, man, did I got so many seeds planted in my head. And at the same time, I was like, oh my God, I could have been awakened at that age. Oh my God, I remember those messages. Oh my God, it was right under my nose. I had plenty of those in my life. And you have it too. The question is, whenever you're ready to open your mind. And some of us are here to be awakened, and some of us choose to come to earth not to be awakened. So it is always again to the person's free will to do what they want. But I'm going to talk all the things that made me come to this spiritual awakening on my side. Today, I'm going to talk about one specifically because that was the major one. So obviously, it's always many people say that most of the spiritual awakening comes with a darkness or a disease. Well, it did happen when he was with the disease. In this case, at the age like in my early 30s, I got thyroid gland disease. For those who don't understand what thyroid gland disease, this is found right in your neck. And to oversimplify, this is a gland that produces hormones that helps with your metabolism, gives you the energy. But at the early 30s, I end up getting it. And the bad news is that I gained over 15 kilos because of it, because my metabolism was so low. I actually went through three doctors during that time, and all the doctors confirmed that I had hypothyroidism, which means hypo for the means low. It means that I'm not producing enough hormones in order to help my metabolism, and that's why I'm gaining weight, and that's why I'm always tired and everything. It was a big blow. It was a big blow because all my life I've been healthy, playing sports, playing basketball, and I was always fit. But then I see myself going from that fitness to gain so much weight. I was miserable. And what was the death sentence to me was when the doctor says, yes, you're going to have to take a pill for the rest of your life every single day. That was like somebody just put a huge bazooka, boom, on me. I was like, no. And I struggled with this because I went and told my mom, and mom was like, yep, guess what? Me too. My mom have thyroid disease. She even took part of her thyroid out of her. My aunt from Brazil, she had also. My other cousin, she also has. So it's like, oh, so I was like, oh, it's genetics. Okay, so it's in the family. So it's a gene that I have, and it's been expressed. Great. So it's in the family, and I picked it up. Awesome. This is how I used to think about that. And I struggled for 2 years taking those pills and very depressed about it. And to tell you the truth, it was a killer. I was very miserable in life until I moved to Dubai. And it was that one day I went to the teacher's office room, of course, with my other science comrades. And one of my science friends, teachers, right, friends, she came to me and said, um, you have an issue with your thyroid gland. It might be because you're not expressing yourself. And I was like, lady, what are you talking about? By the way, remember, I'm a scientist, biology. Did not connect the energy world from the scientific world, from the Western world. So it was a bit in the beginning like, no. It's just like you have blocked energies on your throat and you need to check it out. I don't think you are actually have hypothyroidism and you can easily get rid of it. And I was like, lady, do you understand that hypothyroidism is there's no cure? That was my kind of thought back then. It's inherited. Like I have a bunch of people in my family have this. So this was my kind of thinking back then. But she said she gave me a number, says go to this doctor. So I went to this doctor and he looked my results. It's like, you don't have it. And I was like, what is wrong with this dude? Like, look at the hormones, buddy. Yes, I do. He's like, no, you don't have it. And he says, I want you now to go home and start speaking your truth. And he's like, and that for me was like, buddy, I can't do that, because it will cause conflicts. It will cause chaos in my family. There were so many things that I'm going to have to go through. I don't think I want to do that. He's like, if you don't start speaking your truth, it's just going to get worse. And I was like, great. So I was like, fine. And here's what people understand healing is not always this beautiful butterflies. You might go through chaos before you see the beautiful part about it. So I did go and I start speaking my mind. And man, did that cause a lot of things. I did lose some people in my life. I did lose some jobs and stuff like this, but I start speaking my truth. In the beginning, of course, speaking my truth, it was like, I was crying whenever I speak about it. And I was getting angry. But then with time, I start getting the ease and I start speaking more calmly. It's like, this is it. This is it. This is what I think. This is how I feel. This is how I believe. And I was at the ease with that. 3 months later, I went and did the blood test again. And guess what? My bloods, my hormones, everything was perfect. And I was like, huh? What? So the doctor says, congratulations, you cured your disease. I was like, no, 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 that can't possibly be. No way. I was like, yes, you did. And for you guys to understand, you can even go to ChatGPT, which I placed it right here for those who are watching the video. It says hypothyroidism is a chronic condition. That means, again, there isn't a cure for hypothyroidism until now in the Western medicine. And it says here that it has to be managed effectively for entire life. You're taking these hormones. And then here, it gotta continue to persist that no matter how much diet that you're doing, no matter how much you manage your stress, no matter how much deficiencies you have there, you they say that they don't typically eliminate the need for medication. So it is impossible for them in the Western world medicine to say that there is a cure for it. And guess what? I debunk that. The point is, I did. I actually, as a scientist, I do believe if you have a hypothesis, you have to go through the experiment many times, right? And if an experiment comes with an evidence that it's contradicting the hypothesis, that's it. You kill that hypothesis. And I am one of them. And I know there's many other people out there who have been cured and they're like, how is that possible? But they don't study that because there is something in there. And I'm not rejecting the Western medicine. There's good things about it, but we also need to start listening to the Eastern side because the Eastern side, who has been here for many thousands of years, they are actually telling the truth. They're not just the alternative, they actually are the truth. So I was able to heal my thyroid disease by simply speaking my truth. That means, do you understand when I say I? I healed myself, not a pill, not some surgery. It was simply me and the way I actually changed my way of living, where I started to speak my mind and be okay about it. So, for those who don't know about chakras, we have 7 chakras, and I'm going to have an episode just about those. But for now, I'm going to focus just on my awakening. So, the throat chakra is located right at your neck, okay, and it symbolizes communication, truth, and expression. So, you have an energy come from up your head through your body, and that's what keeps your life going. It's an energy from the universe coming through, and it keeps moving you. But if one of these chakras are blocked, then the energy is going to be stuck. And imagine if the energy is stuck on my neck, that means the energy is not going towards my heart, not going through my belly, none of this place. So that's why there's a huge blockage down in my digestive system, which is obviously the metabolism is not working. So nothing's going. So the whole point of unblocking that throat chakra, it's about expressing emotions, my inner truth, and be creative and not feel this restriction that I cannot be myself or cannot speak my mind. So, with that, for you to understand this, the prevalence of hypothyroidism, it varies between regions, right? But get the interesting part about this is that women are more likely to be affected than men. In Middle East, 5 to 10% are affected, and higher rates in women. Europe, 4 to 5%. And women are 5 to 8 times more likely than men to have it. In America, 4.6% are affected. Again, women 5 times more likely than men. In Asia, India, for instance, 10.95% more chances. And again, women are more likely to be affected. You can see, you can go and check all these data. It's there. Now, do you find it interesting that it's more affected on women? And there's a reason for that. And I'm going to show you how the throat, which is all about the inner truth and expressing yourself, it gets blocked? Well, here are some of the reasons for that. Number one, social expectation. Women are historically expected to be more submissive, leading to suppressed voice, reduced ability to express themselves fully, and reluctant to speak out. Ha! I was raised in the Lebanese community, even though I live all around. And we always knew that, wait, woman is in the kitchen back in the old days, not now, but back then they're like, hey, woman in the kitchen, the man has the final say, the man is the one who makes the decisions. When we're sitting at the table, the men do the talk while the women keep their mouth shut. And if any woman tried to speak up, some guys would dismiss. And that was the kind of living that I used to have. Like I would see the women in my family not have a say and sometimes shut down. And I would see a lot of women be submissive to their man. Whatever they say, that's exactly what they're going to do. So imagine I was conditioned to do that too. The second, emotional burden. Women often carry emotional responsibilities for others, which can make it difficult to express their own feelings openly. I have seen many women that they're so overworried for everybody in the house, they're carrying everybody's pain, and they're stuck with so much emotions that they can't deal, and they are not able to even express how they feel because they're always worried about somebody else's feelings instead of focusing on their feelings or expressing their emotions. Third, cultural and gender norms. Gender norms sometimes discourage women from being assertive and authoritative in a communication, causing them to self censor. Oh boy. Every time I read a sentence, I'm like, yep, I have seen this many times. And this is not just Middle East. I have seen this in countries such as United States. I have seen it in Brazil. Like if a woman decides to be confident and assertive, then they're like, oh, she's aggressive. Oh, she's a rebel. But if she's like, okay, kind, don't say a word, accept whatever they say, then she is a gentle, an angel, peaceful. And many women are raised with this kind of thinking. So if you are going to tell exactly what you think and be assertive about it, they used to say as this is bad as a rebel. So imagine me being raised in that area. No wonder that it caught up with me by the age of 30. Another one is trauma or abuse. Many women experience verbal and emotional abuse, leading to fear of speaking their truth or voicing their needs. I have seen women in tables with me, in our families and relatives and stuff, in which when they try to explain something or speak up their mind, they quickly were shut down with, you're stupid. What are you talking about? What do you know about finance? Like they're just shutting down after shutting down, saying that they are not capable of having enough information to disseminate out there. So there's a lot of women that shut their mouth with the fear of being, turned down. And that means they're piling up all of this right at their throat chakra. Internalized belief. Women may internalize beliefs that their opinions are less valuable or fear of judgment, hindering their ability to express themselves. There is many cultures that do that, right? Which the woman, her job is just to sit there and listen. And that's why until now, and you saw in the prevalence, there's so many more, much more in women, because it's true. In so many cultures, the women are not allowed to speak their mind. And if they do, there's a consequence to them. Or they're rebel, or they're bad people, or they're bad behaved. Now, it's beautiful that I'm seeing now today where there's a lot of people that are allowing women to speak up. But imagine the amount of women that got diagnosed with hypothyroidism because of all these stuff. And it makes total sense because I was raised in a culture that, women had no voice, barely had it. And if she did, man, she had to fight for it. She had to scream. She had to shout. She had to do something about it. And then be called the crazy one, the hard one, the stubborn one. So it makes total sense. So this is showing you that mindset mindset shift happens. My mindset was, you know what? My opinion matters. You know what? I'm going to say what I think. And I'm going to say it with ease. Not because I want to bring conflict or because I want to fight with somebody, but because that's my truth. And you can accept it or not. It's that's your life, not mine. But I am not going to hold myself back because of fear of you not liking it. I'm not going to hold myself back because, you might as well start hating me. No. If I feel like there is a need for me to speak, to express myself, to create something in my way, I'm going to own it. I'm going to love it. I'm going to embrace it because I know that I'm worthy. And I know that my words are worthy. And when I made that shift, man, that energy shift that happens, shifting your thoughts, your feelings, emotions, and beliefs, you actually start to heal yourself. So the important thing for you guys to understand is I healed myself. That means all of us have the power to heal ourselves. And this is what people have tried to do to us, is make us believe that we don't have the power, that we have to go outside of us to medicine, to doctors, to other people. Sometimes, yes, you can get a little bit of that help, but if you truly understand that the person who truly can heal you is yourself, and that you are made of energy, and if you know how to work through your emotions and understand everything about your inner being, you can actually live a happy life, heaven on earth. So, this whole podcast was just to start where I want you to awaken that power within you to heal. It is really time for you to reclaim your power. And I want you to understand this, that I'm here to ride with you all the way. And I'm going to show you more examples of what happened in my life. I'm going to show you more studies. And at the end, it is your choice if you want to take this information, if it really resonates with you and apply it to your life, or if you just want to walk away. Again, everybody has a free will, has their unique journey. And my job here is just to express how I feel. And right now I'm 43, so it's been over a decade. I do not have thyroid. It never came back. I'm really expressing how I think. Exactly, for example, this podcast. I'm speaking up. So this entire first podcast was just to put a little bit of a seed on you to understand that there is a lot more about energy healing. There's a lot more about understanding the spiritual world and combining that with the physical world. And that a lot of things can actually come just from within you. You do not need to look on the outside. So, this is it for this podcast. Now, one thing I want to say is thank you so much for listening to me. You can subscribe into this Awaken Your Life with Angel in my Instagram at Coach Jebailey. You can go to my YouTube channel where you can actually see this video with the slides as Coach Jebailey or at Dr. Angel Jebailey 1111. You also have my website, which is www.angelajebailey for exclusive resources, coaching services. Even you can subscribe to our newsletter for updates and special offers. Now, all I can say right now, let's awaken your life, create your healing path together. I am really here to show you the way. And once again, do not, and I mean, do not think that you're powerless. You actually control your life. And until then, until next Friday, thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking with you guys. And I can't wait for the next episode as I unfold more information and show you everything out there that people are not talking about. Take care.